don't affect me no more. I've got it all under control. Under control. Though my heart's still sore, these wounds will only make me strong. Stronger than ever before. You can throw at me all your insecurities, but deep down you know you're projecting on others all that you lack. Oh, I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now. I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now. Create no reaction from me. I've worked so hard to get here. To get here. Separated from others but never alone. My army is reckless, my army is strong. Stronger than ever before. You can throw at me all your insecurities, but deep down you know you're projecting on others all that you lack. Oh, I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now. I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now. I'm not scared of fighting against all the lies you spread around. 'Cause one day they'll all see through the mask you wore the whole time. I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now. I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now. I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now. I'm a warrior. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I'm a warrior. I have been to hell and back. I'm a warrior. So strong, so alive. Don't you dare try to stop me now.
What a track. That's called Warrior, and that's by Ewelina. And I'm delighted to say Ewelina's with me this evening. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Well, it's lovely to meet you at last. We've spoken on the phone, and I think how this came about, I think you handed your CD, which I have here, to one of my colleagues at one of our events. Mm-hmm. And they passed it to me because they know I love new music, and obviously I do this show. And I listened to it, and I thought, oh, this is good. And I got in touch with you, and I invited you in. Now, I know, I don't want any details or anything, but I know you've not been well, and you were in hospital for a while, so it's been a bit put off, but you're here now, so that's good.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
No, that's an absolute pleasure. It's lovely to have you in. So tell us about yourself and your music, eh?
My name is Ewelina, and I'm originally from Poland. However, I've lived in England for 10 years, lived in Devon for a very long time in Southern Village. And I've been always interested in music. To be honest, I've not really believed in myself before, but after the pandemic, I've realized that we only have one life, one shot. And I just decided to find a producer and finally take all of my lyrics from the cupboards and take them to the studio and make an album.
Excellent. Wow. Well, I mean, that shows a lot of self-determination and some grit to do that. So, whereabouts in Devon did you say you lived?
I lived in Southern Village.
So lovely.
Not too far.
So where do you get your inspiration from? How did you get into writing?
I think it always was coming deep from my heart, so I tend to write from my experience, and the tracks that you've had, you've like listened before, they all come like probably from like 4 years ago or 3 years ago.
Sure.
It's just I needed to brave myself to actually do it and to go to the studio, like I write about my personal experience, but also what my family goes through sometimes. So like the first song from the album will be called Fear, because that's where it started from me. So I had to overcome that feeling. Okay. And I've realized that the only way you can do it is just by doing it.
Well, I mean, how did you go about finding a producer and then getting in the studio? And the album is called Set in Stone, and we'll talk about how people can get hold of it and listen to that and get hold of it later on. But it's a physical copy, everyone. I actually have a CD, which is very, very retro in this day and age. But so how did you go about finding a producer to get yourself down on record?
So once I've decided I'm actually going to do it, and I've got myself to be really committed to that, I've been asking other friends who they were like recording music with, and I found a really talented producer in Paynton, Barney Dine, who I've actually been recording today with as well. So
yes, I know you're doing the second album as we
That's
speak.
correct.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really grateful that he agreed to record that album with me, and it was just a case of like, let's try it. He's a very talented guitarist as well. So I just said to him, this is how I see that song, and like, let's just start from it. I would just like tell him when I want drums, and I would tell him when I want a solo.
So you decided on a lot of the arrangements yourself?
Yes, but Barney is very creative, so he would also like give me his opinion, and very often would be like, Barney, why don't we try this? And then he would say to me, it won't work. And I'm thinking, but let's try it. And he's always right, which is me.
Okay, so you're sort of pushing yourselves, one's pushing the other and so on. You're not, okay, that's great.
That's correct, yes.
Let's hear a track from the album, and I've got a couple lined up, and the one I've got is called Someone Else. So tell us about this track. This is one that particularly pops out of me from the album. I've given it obviously a few listens over the weeks, but this one I like particularly. Tell us about this one. How did this come about?
This song is really personal to me. I mean, the whole album is about self-love and self-belief and how important it is in our lives. And Someone Else is because I used to compare myself to a lot of different musicians, normally much better than me, which was quite depressing, and I didn't feel like I was enough, so I just wrote a song about it, and I just realized that I shouldn't be comparing myself to other people. I need to compare myself to the person I was yesterday, and then like see the progress that I've made.
Okay, right. Well, that's a very full explanation. Thank you. Let's listen to Someone Else by Ewelina, and this is from the album Set in Stone.
This programme is brought to you in association with Michael Clark Limited, your local reliable prompt plumbing, gas and electrical engineers. Call Exmouth 274 237.
I've got to lose, how much makeup I should wear to feel good, how much effort will it take before I start loving myself, how much time I've got left to prove that I'm nowhere blessed, how much time I need to take before I start believing these words. Cause I feel like I'll never be enough for me. There's place I need to get to look insta good. How much more I can pretend that I don't ever care what anyone says. How much time I've got left to prove that I'm nowhere blessed. How much time I need to take before I start believing these words. 'Cause I feel like I'll never be enough for me. There's always something better I could achieve. There's life I could live if I was there. My mind tells me I should be elsewhere. Should I be someone else? Be someone else? Be someone else? Then I get up and look back in the mirror. Girl, you're enough. Don't let anyone tell you different. 'Cause you're enough, enough, enough. And I feel like I'll always be enough for me. There's nothing with time that I couldn't achieve. There's life so great ahead out there. My mind tells me I should be where I am. I should be myself. I should be myself. I should be myself. I should be myself.
That's a track from Ewelina's album. The album is called Set in Stone, and that was called Someone Else. And someone has messaged in to say what an amazing track Warrior was. Now, there's no name on the text, but thank you ever so much
Thank
for
you.
texting in. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
when
lovely.
someone does that. And actually, you'll be surprised. That doesn't happen very often. So if someone does that, they've taken the trouble to do that. It's really good. Which actually makes me think, we were talking off air about your voice, and I think the voice on the album has quite a light tone, a sort of, I don't know, it's a sort of vulnerability to it. But Warrior and the new single, which we'll play later on, I'm Not Jealous, your voice is a little different, I would say, and I wouldn't say it sounds like a different singer, but you seem to have kind of moved on, really. Is that true?
I think it just shows my confidence in the voice on the second album that I'm working on. The first one is about self-love and self-belief, and I had to grow to actually even pronounce myself as a singer-songwriter, because before I was am I a singer, And with the second album, it's also about self-belief and self-love, but it's more in a way about I'm a strong person and I can do it. So it's definitely more belief in that. And I've also been basking a lot, which gave me that confidence, I think.
You have to be... Yeah, you have to be confident to go out there and busk, don't you? Because you've got to get people's attention.
That's correct. And you can get different people. You can get children who are absolutely amazing and they will stop and stare and they won't want to go anywhere further. And then you get some people who are under the influence of alcohol as well. So you have to be prepared for everything, really. And you just learn from it, I guess. And then sometimes nobody sings, so you just, I don't know, pick up a tree and then sing to a tree.
So where have you been busking? Whereabouts?
I've been busking in Exeter, but also in Poland a lot. So in Warsaw, in Łódź, I've actually have on my bucket list to busk around the world. I would love to do that. And I would like to first do around Poland and around England, and then brave myself to go to Spain and Portugal.
Well, you're young enough to do it all, I have to say. There's no hurry. You don't. Okay. What's it like I mean, most of this album is in English, clearly, and obviously you're very, very articulate in English anyway.
Thank you.
But what's it like working in a language which is essentially your foreign language?
That's correct. So it's different, but to be honest, because I've lived here for so long, for 10 years, so I'm automatically thinking in English now.
Sure.
And because I'm working with English like producer and musicians, and I've also got gigs, and it's all like in English pubs. So I think it's just automatic for me, and most of my songs are actually in English.
Sure.
But of course, I will always think about my Polish friends and family, and I will always include a track on my album. So.
Okay. Well, we were listening to this at home actually this afternoon. My wife suddenly said, "This isn't English," because we'd heard it's tucked away at the end, sort of a track just before the end of the album, isn't it? And she said, "Oh, this isn't English," and I said, "Oh no, the lady's Polish." She said, "Oh, okay." So yeah, that's really interesting actually. The fact you just think, and so, but you mustn't lose your Polish roots, must you?
No, I mean I'm proud of being Polish, and of course, and it's always deep within my heart, and I want to connect with my Polish audience. But I feel sometimes that by just singing Polish, if I just do a whole album, I would be sort of limiting myself. I feel like. And my aim is to uplift other people, and just through my experience show them that they can come out of, I don't know, difficult situations. And I think that there are people from around the world that need to hear it, and my audience is showing me that. So having audience from Belgium and Netherlands, and even I had my track played in Australia, which is amazing. So it works. Of course, I've got an accent that sort of can't get rid of, but could be quite unique.
But to be honest, it's much more, I say obvious, it's much clearer that you've got an accent when you speak rather than when you sing.
Okay.
I think you can just about hit, on some tracks on the album, you can just about kind of detect it, but I was wondering if that's because I knew you were Polish, whether I could hear it. You know, it's a bit chicken and egg anyway, isn't it? And also, I suppose English is a much more commonly spoken language, let's be honest. So
that's correct. It's everywhere now. So
yeah, I mean, I played ABBA earlier. They always sang in English. So yeah, you've got, there are good templates for this.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to play another track from the album, and this is called Imagine, not the John Lennon song Imagine, but Imagine. So and you picked this one out, didn't you? You asked me to play. So tell us about this one.
I think this song is quite a special one because a lot of people connect with it. It's called Imagine because it's about overcoming difficult situation in your life. So I dedicated that to my cousin who's been in coma for a long time.
Oh really? Sorry to hear that.
And I just thought like I needed to write something to bring hope to people that although things like this happen, there is a silver lining to everything, and there is hope that, you know, one day he's going to wake up and he's actually going to hear this song. Oh gosh, well I hope so, and well, all the best with that. Thank you. Terrible. Anyway, we'll listen to Imagine, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Talk a bit about live work. We'll talk about busking, but we'll talk a little bit about live work and what you've got planned for next year. Okay.
Imagine all the things we could have done if you were around again. I miss you more and more every day. Now you'd look at me and say, I'm a dreamer out of my mind, true fighter, one of a kind. But deep down I know you're my biggest support. And deep down I believe you hear this song. Imagine you were here with us, we're awake and beating hard. Imagine, oh imagine. Imagine how our lives would look. Hold my hand, I'll guide you through. Imagine, oh imagine. Imagine what
That's Imagine by Ewelina, and she was telling us all about that track a little earlier on. That's the second album I'm going to play from her current album, which is Set in Stone. But let's talk about the second album then. We did touch on this earlier, didn't we? You're busy recording. So how many tracks have you got done already, and when do you think you'll be finished?
I've got 4 tracks out of probably 11 again, but I would love to finish recording it end of next year, because I've realized that it's better to release singles than albums.
Yes.
Right now, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give my audience just singles. That's the plan, at least.
I was reading, funny enough, I was reading an article today about the way people listen to music and so on. I think it was in the context of Christmas records, actually, but singles have become kind of more important again. I think in the streaming world, I mean, I'd still love my albums, and I'll put an album on, play it start to finish. But that's the time I grew up in a way. But when I grew up, singles were a separate thing as well. So you get singles on the radio, and you buy your 7-inch vinyl. Which, have you ever heard of those?
I have, yes.
Or you go and buy the LP, and but I think you're right. I think getting singles out and promoting those, and then bringing them together maybe on an album with some additional material is probably a good way to go, because then you can drip feed things out there.
Exactly. It's like every song has got its own story, so I guess we just need to spend time to tell about that story, not just chuck everything on one big thing.
Okay. I mean, you're very strong on telling stories. Virtually every song you've talked about tonight, and talking about inspirations and so on, it seems to be about giving a message to people. So why is that so strong with you? I
don't know. I just feel my name, Ewelina, it actually means someone who brings joy and light to people. So I think that's what I want to do. I want to uplift others and give them hope. And I want to show that I'm just such a casual person who just got that big dream. And I just want to show it to people and tell them that you just have to do it. If you dream about something, don't listen to people who will try to put you off that dream, or they will try to slow you down. If you feel that, just follow your heart, because we only have one life. We
do. That's very true. You're a long time gone, aren't you? Let's be honest. Yeah. I've just had another message in. This is from Chris in Babcombe, who's a regular listener, and he says, "Evening, Nigel. It's not just good; it's excellent, Warrior."
Thank you.
I'll be in touch when you detail availability. So he'll want to know how to get hold of that. Love the lilt when she's talking. He likes your voice when you're talking as well as singing. So
thank you. I have quite a husky voice today, so do excuse me.
Well, we were saying again, we're off it. I was going to say this earlier to everyone, but I have had this cold the last couple of days, and I'm struggling with my voice, so I do apologise to you listening out there if I'm a bit husky tonight. And I do have to, every now and again, I have to take the slider down and have a cough. So anyway, I'm managing so far. Anyway, and as are you, Ewelina, which is great.
That's correct.
What about live gigs? Now, we talk about busking, which is great. That's fantastic. But actually, in a venue with people who come to listen, what have you got planned for live gigs?
So this year I have a gig on the 27th of December. That's in the Marine Tavern in Dawlish. We're starting at 4 p.m. and I actually will be accompanied by 2 great session musicians, by Al Bovey and Tommy Roberts. So hello to the guys from me.
Good evening, welcome.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So that's a week today, isn't it?
That's correct. Tuesday. And I hope my voice is going to come back in time.
You'll be fine. Just take it easy over Christmas, Ewelina. That's what you've got to do. So that's the 27th at the Marine Tavern in Dawlish.
That's correct.
Wonderful. Okay, well, look, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of people come along after hearing you on this. And you must let us know about future live work as well as, of course, you'll keep me up to date with your recordings. I'll be cross if you don't. So that's true. What about any other plans? We talked about the album, and which you're going to be releasing singles. Now, how can people get hold of your music if they want to?
So my music is available on all streaming platforms, on Spotify, Apple Music and YouTube, but also I have physical copies of my album. I know it's old school, but I've actually got people who love it. So
Chris will love that.
Yes,
because he's a very sort of in a nice way, Chris, old school physical.
I actually love physical albums because I always like, if I have like listen in the car, it has to be, you know, CD player and everything, and then I can.
Well, yes, and you know what? If the internet goes down, you've still got it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And so the albums are available on my website, which is www.ewelinamusic.com.
That's spelled EWELINA music.
That's correct.
MUSIC. Ewelinamusic.co.uk.
.com.
I beg your pardon. Ewelinamusic.com. So if you do a search for that, you'll find it. And also, there's some YouTube videos so people can actually see you sing.
Yes, I've been making music videos to my tracks. They are quite funny ones, especially the one with breaking these walls when I'm smashing walls. So.
Yes, I watched that one. Yes, it's a bit of a literal interpretation.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing it. So.
It's been lovely welcoming you, and thank you
so
ever so
much
for taking the time to come in and talk to us. And
thank you, Nigel.
Don't be a stranger, will you?
Oh no, definitely.
No, you come back. Now we've got the current single to play, which is marvellous, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm Not Jealous. So tell us about this. And we'll play out with this.
So I'm Not Jealous is dedicated to anyone who's ever been cheated on. So it's just to uplift anyone who's been through this difficult situation. The song was first called Jealous, and then I changed it to I'm Not Jealous. And you will see why, because the chorus changes in the second part. So.
Okay. No, it's a great record, and I'm delighted to play it, and I shall play it on my other show as well. This is Ewelina with I'm Not Jealous. Ewelina, it's been an absolute delight to meet you.
Thank you, Nigel.
She's been smiling the whole way through. I'm sure you can tell, actually, over the radio. She's just got the biggest grin on her face. And you carry on, and I wish you all the best in next year and the years to come.
And Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you.
Good luck next week. That gig is the 27th at the Marine Tavern in Dawlish. So do yourself a treat and get out between Christmas and New Year and go and hear some great live music from Ewelina. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.
I went outside to get some air. I saw you there with another girl, and you were laughing at anything she said. Was she really that funny, or was it a way to her bed? She would go with you anyway, forget you the very next day. She would roll her eyes when someone said your name. She wouldn't play your games or listen to your words. She would never wanna hold your hand. And I'm not jealous, oh no, but I could break her bones and dump them on your bedroom floor. And I'm I believe in my bones. I picked my pieces off the floor. I'm not jealous anymore. Just one more thing before I go. I don't feel hate to you no love. I'm not jealous anymore. I believe in my bones. I picked my pieces off the floor. I'm not jealous anymore. Just one more thing before I go. I don't feel hate to you no love. I don't feel hate to you no love. I don't feel hate to you no love.
Maximum music.